Our next story might be a difficult one for you to watch. It begins with a tale of horrible neglect that led to one of the largest horse rescues in the Humane Society of Missouri's history. Left to fend for themselves on a property where there was no food to eat and no water to drink, 17 horses were in grave danger. The outlook for one horse was especially grim. Galahad was on the brink of death when he was rescued by the Animal Cruelty Task Force, underweight by a sickening 400 pounds.
Galahad was rescued in May of 2009 from Howell County. We actually seized 17 horses from that place. He was one of the thinnest. I really don't think that Galahad would have survived probably longer than maybe another week. Galahad was one of 15 of the 17 horses that came straight back to Longmeadow. They started the rehab process, and it's a very slow process of refeeding. We have a vet come out as soon as possible and start them on floating their teeth and kind of looking at what their health problems are and how we can assess them. He was here almost 5 months. I would estimate that we spent about $3,500, $4,000 on his rehabilitation just in that amount of time. So it's a big investment, and that's why we really rely on donors. We don't adopt horses out for $3,500 or $4,000. Their adoption fees are significantly less because we really want them to be in a great forever home where the people can continue to support them.
I met him in August of 2009, and this guy stuck his head through the bars of his pen, and he put his nose right here on me and fell asleep.
Kay visited to the ranch initially. She was looking for a horse, and like many adopters do, they have this initial visit where they're looking for a connection with a certain animal. And she immediately found that with Galahad.
Not only did he fall asleep on me, but the next time I was out, he was out in the pasture, and they let me go and get him. And he looked up and he saw me. He didn't know me hardly from Adam's off ox, you know. But he come running right over to me and walked out just as quiet as you please. So yes, I do. I do believe that they choose. I mean, horses are deeper than we think. So yeah, he chose me. We're a matched pair.
When I first met Kay and Galahad, I laughed because Kay was very determined to have Galahad, even though she didn't have a whole lot of experience. She was a mature lady looking for really a first-time horse, and the one she had picked was an untrained, they believe at the time he was still a stud, young horse, just didn't know anything. She is doing very well with her horse, loves him dearly, and rides him on a pretty consistent, regular basis, can doctor him. She's turned into a pro in a very short amount of time.
As a psychologist, I actually use Galahad and some of my other horses with some of my clients. I've noticed with Galahad, he seems to resonate with people who are either grieving or have some kind of trauma in their background, and that may be because he in some way relates to them. He's also really good with kids because he's very gentle. And children sometimes have a hard time expressing their emotions in words so that their parents can understand them. But to put a youngster, really anyone, with a horse like this, it's much easier for them to open up, in a sense, to the horse. And somehow the horses understand this.
17 horses is quite a large rescue for us and for the Humane Society of Missouri. It took a team of about 10 people, 3 trucks and 3 large trailers. It's a lot of animals to fit into a space, and we also don't know those animals very well and how long they get along with each other. This was also pretty far down in southern Missouri, so it's a lot of mileage and people's time and efforts to get this many horses back.
I don't think they ever really forget the hardship they've been through. They don't dwell on it, but it's always there in the background. And so that's why it's so important to me when I see that he is happy and he's got all this wonderful grass to eat. That makes me feel really good because I've literally rescued this guy from certain starvation with Longmeadow's help, and given him a future, you know, given him a life where he doesn't have to worry about ever being hungry.